Hi, everyone. My name is Lorraine, and I'm the owner and operator of Under One Umbrella Designs. So, today's project will be kind of a mixed media picture that I'll be doing, and it's going to go through many different looks, transformations, and I change it throughout. First off, I start out with milk paint, and it's called Marble by Fusion. So it's equal parts. Mix 2 scoops of water, 2 scoops of powder. I currently don't carry this in my on my website, but I will be later. So I'm going over the frame with one coat, and I will dry it. And I believe I do 2 coats with this and dry in between each layer. And that encourages crackling. Milk paint can't. It is really unique. It gives it an old world finish, cracks and chips off. It's not very predictable. It has a mind of its own. It does what it wants, but I really like the look that it gives. So at the top, when I go over it with the blow dryer, you can kind of see that crackling. There you go. You can really pronounces it now. But later on in the video, this doesn't stay, but you'll see. I kind of just evolve when I start something and I don't like it, I'll change it and just evolves into, I kind of let the project tell me how it wants to look. So here I am just going over it and kind of scuffing up, making it look a little bit more distressed with my finger sander. Just go on the edge, just cleaning up the back because I'm going to use that to create the picture. So this is the Alchemy paint, and it is also by Fusion. It's a chalk limestone paint, and I'm just going over this with just one coat. It covers really nice. Here I have the what I think it's called vintage textures, and I'm just using the crackle stamp and going over it. You don't see much of it throughout the later on in the picture, but like I say, it evolves. This transfer is by Iron Orchid Designs, IOD. It is called Menagerie, and it has a lot of beautiful elements in it, like bird cages, and birds, and branches, and cherry blossoms. So I just took this branch. I'm just piecing out elements that I want, and now I've got this stencil. I think I got it off Amazon years ago. I don't even know. I'm sure you could get some sort of stencil. It's like bricks or rocks. And I'm using Redesign stencil paste. It's a fibrous paste. It's really nice to work with. And I'm just going over and placing where I want the brick to show, making sure it looks good within the frame. Now I'm taking the Sparrow's Nest mold by, again, IOD. I'm going to use the nest with eggs and a couple of the birds in this using air dry clay. It's by Sculpey. It's a terracotta look, or color, should I say. You always use cornstarch in your mold so the clay releases really easy when you turn it over. And I'm just taking a little ceramic towel and placed it on there. So now I'm going to be going in and bringing life to the brick and showing dimension with paint. I started with the sage, but then realized that I want the cracks of the brick to be brown. So I'm first painting it brown, and then I'll go over it with the sage alchemy paint. The dark brown is fusion chocolate. And then I'll go over it with the sage, kind of just using my brush on an angle and just slightly moving over the brick just to give the brick some definition, showing the cracks. Yeah, just washing over the bricks, not pressing hard. I don't want full coverage. I want it to be all kind of bumpy and rustic looking. Now I go in with cathedral taupe. Like I said, this evolved. So what I didn't like was that the brick and the sage background were kind of just all blended together, and I wanted to make that brick pop out some more. So then I went in with cathedral taupe, and then you can see I never changed my brush. I kind of just want to meld all the colors together, just wiping it off on the towel that I use, and then just dipping it into the paint again. I have a little plastic container that I've used all my paint, like a lid there. I like using these pads for training pads for pets to work on, because you can use them just for like a dabbing off, and keeps your surface, you can change it out, keeps your surface clean. So here I'm just going in and giving highlights and lowlights to the background, making the bricks pop out a little bit more. It's kind of like a wall of a castle perhaps, and it's old and broken down, and bricks are starting to come out. So I went in and I covered all of the paint and the brickwork and everything that I had done with the fusion top coat in matte. And now I want to do some rust effect. So I take terracotta by, not terracotta, it's iron clay by Fusion, and dab it in, and then use my mister to let it run and work through the cracks. And then I'm using Manor Green by Fusion, again, making more moss, watering it down, letting it run, and giving it a more natural effect. So now I'm working on my other elements. So there I was mixing chocolate and iron clay together to kind of mute down that dark chocolate color. And I painted the all both birds in the nest, and then went in with conservatory for the leaves and champness on the eggs. And those are just like rough coats. I didn't really go in detail because it's going to be all kind of blended together with waxes and stuff. So, and on the birds, on the wings, I used willow bank. And now I'm just taking them off. Yeah, putting them on a clean so they don't dry on there. Now I'm kind of just measuring out, putting the branch where I want it, seeing where I want to lay it in. And they're really easy to, you can cut them apart like I did there and place them where you want them and just rub them down and peel them up, burnish the image, the transfer onto your project. And transfers always have to be sealed. When I'm done here, the whole project will get one last coat of the Tough Coat by Fusion matte. And I'm going to be gluing down my elements, just using a wood glue. Removing the excess glue. Yeah, I wanted to extend that branch over on my picture a little bit. I didn't, so that's why I cut it. And I knew the nest would take up some of the space. Make sure you have your, when you put your wood glue on, that you take it right to the end, so all the part of the edges of the casting gets glued down properly and doesn't lift off. There, I'm going in with white wax. I thought I wanted to lighten it up a bit. Then I wasn't too sure about that, but I went ahead with that. That's what I mean when you're working with the project and you're in your mind, you're thinking one thing and it's just not laying down on your piece the way you want it. So it kind of just evolves. But the white wax did bring out some of the elements in the nest and the bird. Lightened up the project a little bit. I later go in with dark and decrepit dust to give it a little bit more definition. That's the frame over the art piece. So I stapled the frame in with my staple gun, and now I'm going to clean up the back, and I just get a roll of craft paper from like a hardware store and cut it to size and use that packing paper tape, and it cleans the back up really nice. Finishes your piece. Using my cutting mat, and then whatever edges or the tape, I cut them off. So I take a few more elements from the Menagerie transfer book and added to it. I felt like it needed some more, for some more softness. Just a little bit more interesting. Yeah. And then after that, I seal it. Well, that's a little, I just took a little bit of that golden nugget, no, golden ticket by DIY and just put some on the bird wings. And oh, so now you can see that I totally changed the frame. I wanted the picture to pop out, and it kind of just all blended together, and it just wasn't looking right to me. So I went in with Bayberry by Fusion and did the frame in that. And to me, I thought it looked a little bit better. And then that's going over it with the decrepit dust. Like I said, I did seal all of this when I put those last bit of transfers on. I did seal it all again before I was finished with it, and before I put this decrepit dust on. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think I should have left it with the white or the marble melt paint? I just felt it just kind of all blended together. I'm at work here finishing up the piece. Sometimes when it's slower, I can do that. I have the ability to do that, so it's kind of nice. And I just went in with the DIY decrepit dust and darkened and the corners, where dirt would kind of sit. Add a little bit more vintage look to it. A little piece of that casting from the bird branch kept falling off. I had to glue that back on. So all in all, I think it turned out pretty nice. It's definitely something I'd hang in my house. Then I did put a sawtooth hanger at the back. Just taking some pictures. And so again, if anybody needs Fusion Paint, IOD, I carry all that on my website. And I also have a 30% discount off DIY running right now. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Bye now.